So what we're going to do now is build a coupler out of a piece of body tube. And before we do that, I'll show you what I got going for the entire rocket. Is that for the motor, it's going to be an Aerotech 98 5360 with an EX load. The 36-inch long body tube that I poured up on the video is going to be the bottom part of the motor case. So then I had another 24-inch body tube that we rolled, and that's going to be on next. I'm going to use the motor case as the coupler. That needs a little bit of work. The coupler that we made is 9 layers. I have 35 feet of 3,000-pound cord that's going to go down in here around the forward closure. Drobless. Let's do this a little bit different. The coupler is going to go in. This will be on top. The bottom bulkhead is going to be right about here, so it gives me from the top of the motor plus the space in the forward closure, and so I'll have from here to the top for my electronics bay. It will be glued in right here. We have another piece of body tube, and I've been asked to do a mold on a nose cone, and I actually kind of like the look of this pointy nose cone instead of the one I poured up earlier. So once we make a mold for this and I pull a fiberglass nose cone off, this section of body tube is going to be epoxy to my nose cone. I won't have a bottom on it, so what that'll do, it'll allow me all this room up through here to store my main parachute in. I have a forward closure on there. The blue tape that you see on there right now is just for alignment purposes for me, where the tubes were cut. And so the whole rocket right now is 72 inches tall. For fins, right now I have a rough pattern. I don't know if you can see that, but that's going to be, I have 3 fins. So 6-foot tall rocket with a 36, 41-inch, 98mm motor. The body tube's doubled up because I slid that forward closure all the way. The body tube's doubled up because I pushed the coupler all the way down to the top of the motor where it's going to ride. And then the coupler that we make up now is going to go in right here in this dead space that we're going to double it up because it's going to be some pretty extreme flights. So that's what we're building here. So after tonight's video, I'll go ahead and we'll make a video on how to make a mold from a nose cone. We're going to use this 3.9-inch nose cone. I like the shape. And I don't have to make a plug. I'm going to use this actual nose cone to pull the mold off of. So what we're going to do is, this is a piece of the body tube that we made up earlier, and we're going to make a coupler out of it. And so the first thing we need to do is cut it lengthwise. And I've already cut this one, and I've cut it lengthwise. I'm going to take a piece of the body tube that I want the coupler to fit into, and I'm going to take and I'm going to overlap the seams, and I'm going to put it inside what I want it to fit. Making sure that it's not staggered like this, that the sides are flush, and then I'm going to mark the sides, and what that does is it tells me how wide or how much of a strip that I'm going to be taking off to make this fit inside there. I've done this with cardboard. I've done it with much thicker, much stronger fiberglass. This is some of the fiberglass gas station pipe. It's extremely strong. This is what I made my level 3 rocket out of. It's got 25 flights on it, I have it in 4.5 inch. I have some 6 inch for a later project. And so it's extremely strong, but you can still cut a strip out of it, collapse it on itself, put it inside what you want it to fit, and then fiberglass it back together. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the piece out that I need. So now we've cut a strip out. This strip happened to be about 5/16 to 3/8 inch wide. I'm going to collapse it and put it in here and make sure that it's not binding. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay strips of fiberglass over the top of that seam. I'm going to start out with a pretty narrow one, go to a wider one, and then a really wide one. What I don't want to have happen is to glue this inside my body tube. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of Mylar, slip it inside the body tube as a protectant. We're going to collapse this on itself. We're going to put it right in the middle of that and slide it in. And it's better if you have the Mylar sticking out a little bit. Okay, so now we have a strip cut out of the body tube inside with Mylar. But the problem is that epoxy is not going to stick to this very well. And so what I need to do is roughen it up. And what I use is an old Sawzall blade and some 60 grit sandpaper. So first we're going to take the Sawzall blade, we're going to get in here, and we're going to rough it up, score it, and we're going to score it wide enough for the widest piece to stick on there. It's all back and forth, just rough it up because the epoxy is not going to soak into this, and so we need a mechanical bond, meaning that the epoxy needs to grab a foothold so it'll work. So that's one side. I'm going to spin it around. I'm going to do the other side. There you go. Okay, I'm going to put it back together. Mylar, hold it out a little bit, collapse it on itself. But I just lost my Mylar. Making sure that it's even, not twisted in there. So hopefully you can see that. I have the epoxy all mixed up. I'm going to go ahead and paint it inside here, the entire width of what I just roughed up. Once we get done with this, we're going to let it set up. And then we're going to pull this out of here. And then we're going to put 3 full layers all the way around inside with peel ply and peel ply and a balloon. So then I'm just going to take the chip brush and tap it down, making sure that's right in the middle. I'm going to wet it out, making sure it hangs over the back. Need a little bit more glue. I'm going to take the next wider strip, put it down over that, tapping it down. Then we're going to take the last piece, the widest piece, and put it in here. Tap it down, make sure it gets wetted out. Got some extra hairs. Okay. So we're going to lay this flat because I don't want that epoxy running down there and coming off the Mylar. And I'm going to come and try it and kind of keep sliding it around when it gets green because I don't want those two pieces to get glued together. So when we come back, we'll pull that out. We'll have 3 pieces or 3 layers of fiberglass to go inside. We'll put peel ply in it. We'll stick a balloon in it. We'll blow it up. So that'll give us our strength that we were looking for our 9-ply. We've added 3 extra plies to where the cut is, and I've never had a coupler like this fail on a flight. So now that our coupler is set overnight, we're going to try and get it out of here. If we did everything right, it's going to slide right out. So, did everything right. And the right points is that we have enough Mylar to cover what we're epoxying so that we don't epoxy the coupler into the body tube. We take this off. This is going to be the right size. The coupler that we make fits right in there. So now what I want to do is put 3 more layers all the way around on this to beef it up. So what I need to do is fix this on here so that I can work on it up and down level. Using some duct tape. So now I have this in a good working position. Have my epoxy all mixed up. I'm going to put on my gloves. I have the glass cut up. And I cut up enough fiberglass so that I can do 3 layers inside there. Just little squares. I have my peel ply that I'm going to put in over the glass. I have my balloon that I'm going to put in to inflate it to squeeze it out. Going to coat the inside with epoxy. Put this in here. Pretty good amount of epoxy this first time, and then once we get the first layer of glass in there, then we can start managing the amount of epoxy that we have in there. I'm going to put this first piece right over the top of the seam that I made, and then fold it in half, pull off any little hairs. Then all I'm going to do is tap on this with the brush to get it to wet out. A little dry spot right there. next piece. You can overlap them, you can butt them up, whatever you want to do. Tap, tap, tap. Get it wet out. I'm just folding them so they go down in there a little bit easier. Line up one side and then manipulate it around. So I'm going to take my peel ply, I'm going to do the same thing and fold it in half, kind of crease it. Even when you crease it, it doesn't really stay because it's the thicker peel ply actually, not mylar. Just makes it easier to put down inside the tube. I may only go with one layer on this. Okay, then I have my balloon. Put the balloon down towards the bottom, and hopefully it'll go onto the bottom, pump out a little bit, and then come all the way to the top. Okay, you can see where it's coming out the bottom, so I'm going to hold that for a little bit. It's forcing the epoxy out. I'm going to release the air. Pull it up a little bit. Just holding it, sticking out the bottom. I don't know if you can see it. Letting the air out. Little set of hemostats, I think they're called. We have some balloons sticking out the bottom, sticking out the top, so we're getting good compression down through there. So we're going to leave it at this stage, and then we'll come back in a little bit. So it's been about 2 hours. The balloon's deflated. It did its job. We'll take this off now. The epoxy and fiberglass is in its rubbery state. It's going to be easier to cut. We'll pull out the peel ply. We use a razor blade to cut through this. And the part we won't be able to cut is the part that we glassed, that we let it sit up a little bit overnight. So this is cutting pretty easy. I'm just using the body tube as a line. That's the hard part that's set up overnight. We'll cut this with a saw real quick. That's our coupler. The seam is right here, and once it sets up all the way, we'll be able to clean it up, see if we did a good job or not. So that's our coupler. Took some body tube, cut a strip out of it, patched that strip inside with Mylar on the inside, 3 layers of glass over the strip, and then we came back and put 3 layers of glass on the inside, peel ply, put a balloon in it, blew the balloon out, and we made our own coupler out of some body tube.